Hi everyone, welcome back. In the second part of our storytelling videos today, we're going to talk about the plot, or what exactly happens in our story. So after the first video, I'm hoping now you have a what if idea you want to take forward, and you've looked at the character and settings worksheet to have a better understanding of your character and where the story is going to take place. So while looking at what happens in our story, we try to include two things in particular, and that's conflict, or a challenge for our main character, and change. So our character to have learned something, or to have changed in some way. If we look at conflict in the story of Peter and the Wolf, we'll see that Peter has the conflict of coming up against his grandfather, who doesn't want him to go out into the meadow. And there's also the conflict of the wolf appearing as well. And then when we look at change in Peter and the Wolf, we see that by the end of the story, because Peter captures the wolf and saves the animals, he learns that it's good to be brave. So he's changed in some way from the beginning to the end of the story. So what we're going to do in this video is take a look at your own stories and come up with some conflict and some change and get an outline of the story together. Now you can follow along with the plot outline worksheet if you like, or a pen and a piece of paper is fine. In this video, feel free to put your ideas down as drawings, as words, as sentences, whatever works best for you to get those ideas down on a piece of paper. First, let's take a look at our character's main goal or main objective in our story. So this is what the character wants or what the character needs most. Now, I filled out the character worksheet and the settings worksheet. My what if question was, what if my cat got lost? So as I was filling out the character worksheet, I thought if my cat was lost, the thing it would want most is to get back home. Now, in different stories, this can be completely different. It may be a prince who needs to save a princess, or a chef who needs to bake a cake, a postman who needs to deliver his letter. It really can be as simple or as crazy as you like it to be. It's completely up to you. So look over your character and see if you can decide on what your character wants from the story. What's the main thing they're looking to get from this story? Once you've looked at what your character wants or needs from the story, or your character's main goal, we can start to think about the problems your character might face along the way. So what might make things harder for your character to achieve their main goal? So looking back at the story about the lost cat, the lost cat is lost in the woods. So the first problem is the cat doesn't know which way to go because the trees are too thick and the cat can't see which way to go. So this provides conflict for the character and something to fight against. So see if you can come up with some of your own problems for your character that might get in the way of them achieving their main goal. And once you've come up with these problems as well, I'd like you also to have a think about how they might get past them. When you're thinking about these challenges or problems your character might face and how your character will get past them, it's important to think about how this moves your character closer to their main goal. So how does getting past this problem move your character towards what they really want in the story? We should always be moving towards the climax of our story, or the most important moment, the most important event in our story. Now, this is usually the big moment when the character finds out if they get what they want, if they don't get what they want, and why. So, looking at my story about the lost cat, I decided that as the cat was nearly home, he came up against a river which he could not pass. Now this was the climax of my story, the really big moment that decides if he makes it or if he doesn't. And I thought about how he could make it across the river and decided that the bird would go and get his friends, and they picked up the cat and flew the cat to the other side of the river, helping the cat across. Now, when I thought about what the cat might learn from this, teamwork was top of the list. So I'd like you just to have a little think about what you think your character might learn from the journey that they've been on. Now, the final worksheet I have for you today is about putting it all together. So if you take a look at the final worksheet, I've given some prompts for the beginning of a sentence, and all you have to do is finish those sentences, including the things that I've put in brackets next to the headings. Here is an example of one I filled out for my story about the lost cat. Now you have all the pieces you need, it's time to write that story. Now feel free to draw pictures alongside your writing, and if you get stuck with your story at any point, just look back to the work you've done with your character and your setting, and you'll find something in there which will help you make a decision on how your character would act in your story. So I hope you've had fun with these videos, and I hope that you create some lovely, lovely stories from the work we've done here today.